He saw it every day on his way home from work. The narrow street behind the old apartments was always quiet, except for the sound of shouting that echoed from one cracked window. At first, he told himself it was none of his business. People fought. Families had problems. That's what he believed, until the shouting turned into cries. She lived on the second floor. A young woman with tired eyes and bruises she tried to hide with long sleeves and makeup. Some days, he saw her on the stairs, moving slowly, her head down. Other days, he heard the sounds before he ever saw her. The thud of something hitting the wall, the sharp words, the silence that followed. Every day he watched, and every day he did nothing. He wasn't a coward, not really. He had his own fears, his own wounds from a life that had taught him to stay quiet and survive. He told himself she would leave one day, or someone else would help her, or it wasn't as bad as it sounded. Those excuses became his shield. One evening, the shouting was louder than ever. He stopped walking. His feet felt heavy, but his heart felt heavier. The cries were different this time. Desperate, broken, like someone who had run out of hope. He stood there, frozen, as the sounds cut through him. Then he heard a child cry. That sound shattered everything. Without thinking, he ran upstairs. His hands shook as he knocked on the door. No answer. Another scream. He knocked harder, then pushed the door open. The room was chaos. Overturned furniture, fear hanging in the air. She was on the floor, protecting the child with her body. He stepped between them, his voice louder than he had ever heard it. Something in his eyes made the man stop. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was the fact that someone was finally watching. The police came. Neighbors came. The silence that followed was different. Heavy, but safe. Days later, he saw her again. She was still bruised, still healing, but this time she stood a little straighter. She looked at him and nodded.